Hey, what's up, traders? Day Trader Rockstar here in the high probability watch list for the week of May. What do we got? May 24th, coming into the end of May here. It is a Friday. Paul is on the mic. I'm doing the research. Paul was a little under the weather today, so we got a later start on this, on the research here. So I apologize. It's going to be kind of a smaller watch list, but I'm very organized because we did put out a couple watch lists during the week just to kind of keep you updated. And we're going to update on those. Our big day today on Boeing. Our Boeing broke out today, so we're going to start off with that. We're going to continue to hold that. I am looking at over 250 on this to finalize this trade, maybe even more if we could get that. Let's break that one down first. Well, let's actually break down the market right here. You could actually see today we actually had a nice little run and then kind of drifted. And now we're starting to get a bounce, which is nice. And you can see the lower trend line here has been perfect. Our trend lines have been working great here. Identifying this was a divergence, also a 5-minute divergence. You can actually, if I bring over the rock bot, you'll see that the rock bot also took that divergence nicely. And right now, the Bitcoin is breaking down. But Bitcoin, look at the divergence here on the Bitcoin right here. Even though it's where are we here? There we are. Divergence happening right there, and it's pushing back up. Why is it down here? It's pushing higher. We'll just stop underneath the first profit was hit. But as you can see, these are fantastic entries here on the 5-minute. Oh, there it is. All right. We'll have to let that trade finish out before you see what it happens with it. But just to give you an example, that is, and we just got a nice divergence on the ES too. So the bot here, just picking it apart here. Nice divergence back there. And a nice run up. And then we just had a divergence here. And a nice run up now. And again, these are just automated trailing stops. When you have the rock bot on your side or you follow it, you could always adjust it on your own platform with the stop. It just is just auto identification of divergences, and that's what I use it for. So it has a very, you get a nice move. It really is about getting that first entry. The rest of it is really up to you. When it comes to analyzing the markets on strength, volatility and stuff, you might want to have a larger stop in place. You might have a different type of trailing stop in place, but the key is identifying those levels and getting in at those levels and watching it go. So these all could go higher. You could take these much higher than what this is. So that's working out really good. And that divergence, that little spot that I showed you right there is right here, and you can see we have a dual divergence on this script too. And these are just all scripts that I've written identifying the criteria of that lower low on the price. In this case, a reversal candle and a higher low on the stochastics right here. Excellent levels, and that's a really good sign. And then whenever we have a divergence inside of a channel, 9 times out of the 10, we're going to break out of that channel. So that usually gives us a clear choice of where how far we want to take the trade. So we can do adjusting on that. Someone emailed me the other day, John, when am I going to get the auto stop on the short side on the Rockbot code? And I want to do that next week. I'm going to start that next week. It should take less than a few days to do. Hopefully to have it within 2 weeks. I've given myself 2 weeks to get that done and update the script on that. So that's all right. Now back to that's the market right now. Now back to what we're looking at, our watch list going into next week. Now I am continue to hold Boeing. Boeing looks great. Banging the table over the last couple of days of how good the setup. It was a divergence. It was holding the 200. It was a perfect trend line. It was everything that we needed, and we had a little news and just got to get that pop. And we're looking for a 10 to 15 point move in this, a candle. And look what we have. We had that pop. It is. It's up 7 points, so I think we can go further today. It's actually trading higher right now. it's getting back up towards the high. Now, Bitcoin on the other hand is getting hit. There was more Chinese news out against miners. So a lot of action in the market right now. Lots of action in the market right now. And I think I just realized there is something that before was not. There we go. Let me fix that right here. The Bitcoin chart wasn't updated before. For some reason, it was given a bit or the wrong readout. I was just realized that it froze up. So this is the end of that last divergence here. It did take that profit up here. And again, just letting this thing run. I usually let this run overnight. You can see the great levels on this. This is every so often you will get one that doesn't get to it, but that's why we have a trailing stop. But as you can see how we have this setting up over time, we're getting good results on it. Now this is just, again, an automated script that's trading 5 coins, and you don't have to trade 5 coins, but that's how I have it set up so it could scale out and take advantage of the scaling process and trailing stops. That's why you have big gains like that. But it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be anything. All right, so next thing here, looking good. Let's go through, and again, I'm in a little rush today. I'm going to be out of here pretty early today. Let's take a look here. So we took some Boeing off, and then we got into a nice scalp on Boeing on the pullback. Right after 10:30, and then we got a nice bounce, and we took that trade off. It continues to come back up and show strength, but we're just, like I said, taking profits faster these days. It still looks good, so let's move on from that next one. Ended up getting back into Snowflake. Now, a lot of people ask me, how do I like the snow? I do like the snow a lot here. Snow recently broke out. I liked it down here. We liked it under 200. And you can see we had a nice breakout, pushing back into this consolidation area. And I think the worst case scenario is you get a first rotation pullback, which we've been concentrating on last week. And this qualifies for that because you have the top downward trend line that's established by 3 pivots, 3 or more pivots, 2 or more pivots, but 3 would confirm that. In the first breakout, you get the breakout, you buy down here. On the breakout, when you take profits, this can go as high as it wants. But the next trade, real good, high probability trade setup off of this is after a breakout of a downward channel, you get a rotation or a pullback. You buy the first rotation of the stochastic. So this is something that's going to play out for us in the future. So we just have to wait for it now. Now, I'm long one call, and I like that. I think we go a little bit higher before we get that pullback. I think we can even get through that 250 level. So a little long here right now on Snowflake, and that's the June 4, 245 calls. And then ended up adding to my teledoc, which we got into a few days ago. And that's another one that I love off the lower trend line here. And again, all just waiting for the setups. I have to have a lot of patience here. We watched this one for a while and finally decided to get in, and it's acting pretty good. So, gonna see how far we get. Again, a push up to the 20-period moving average, 150 would be perfect for that. Next one that we recently got into, again, a lot of Boeing. Sold some BLI yesterday, but I am still in some BLI. I sold some yesterday, and then I'm still holding some BLI. It's holding good strength, and lots of times we like to get that rotation. This was, kind of the setup that we always talk about. What's the setup? Downward channel, breakout, first rotation, you buy, and here it is. First rotation, oversold. Starts to turn back up after that rotation. You want to start to be in it, and we ride it until we get the rotation back up. In this case, there's a couple of levels you might take it off, the 20-period moving average. As you can see, that is a a major spot on this thing. So it makes a lot of sense to concentrate on that. It gives you the entry, it gives you the exit. It's really in your hands now. I think, you know, it's very close to myself taking profits on that also. CVM. Ended up going long CVM. Just because I expected a little squeeze before the news comes out. Now, you can see this one. This is actually one of our technical levels too, if you even think about it. It's not something, but it's based off of some news. There was a huge stock today that ran on an Alzheimer's drug. If I could find that one. Let me see if I can find it without looking in the room. It's up like 1,000%. Oh, was this? Yeah, this was it. It wasn't up. From $25, it went all the way up to about close to $100, $97. It's pulled back to $77. This is what the results of good trials could happen. This is amazing. Another thing I talked about today, and this is very important as a trading technique, this works really well. And again, we try to do this in the morning, is identify the stocks that are trending pre-market. Now, pre-market is between 4 o'clock and 9:30. 4 o'clock, a lot of stocks open up for trading. Some of them don't. Some of them open up at 8. Some of them open up at 9:30. But a lot of them, if they have news, that news gets released early in the morning. You start to get that 4 o'clock move, and by the time you get in at whatever time you wake up and you're looking around, the things have already made, you know, big moves. But if you're holding near the highs and you're consolidating at the highs coming into the 9:30 open, that's telling me a couple different things. People who are not able to trade pre-market tend to jump into these right when the market opens up. They want to be part of the action. So like when the market goes on, put my order in, I want to buy at the market. You know, when it opens up, boom. And they have all this buying coming in and it rips. Now this happened a few times on different stocks today. All you have to do is go to the pre-market session, which I cover every morning. And we just got to cover that. And not every day you have these setups, but when you do have them, it's important to recognize it and probably end up taking that shot on it. And the criteria is very important. You have to have something that's holding good news and holding at the highs going into the 9:30 open. Remember, the reason is people cannot, a lot of people, traders cannot trade 9:30 open. They have the orders end up buy at the open. So the CVM, if that does happen to have a pop on it, this is actually pulling back now. Got to be careful on this because it can drop when the news comes out, good or bad. It's going to drop a big amount or pop a big amount. I don't know where it's going to go. It really depends on the news. I have puts going out, and I have a few shares long here, 50 shares long, and just in case you get a move up to $80, you know, I'd like to be part of that. And that's due very soon. I would say within a couple weeks. You know, they're saying any day. Well, we'll see. So that should be a good play for us coming up if we can get something. It's pulling back off the highs now, but it's hanging in there. Keep an eye on that. VTGN. It's not a new one. I'm in it. I'm not adding to it, but it continues to roll. They do an anxiety, depression, nasal spray. Trials are starting in a couple of weeks. Third phase. Phase 3 trials starting in a couple of weeks. They're also going to be presenting at a couple conferences in June. I think it's great. They just recently had a upgrade yesterday, which caused the gap up. Blair came out with a $9 price target. Credit Suisse has a $6 target on it. It got some follow through today. It's looking very strong. Nothing to change on that. Continue to hold. Netflix here breaking back down. What else do we have going for us here? I do have a list that I was working on this morning while I was live on the air. So let's take a look at these stocks here. plug power. That's definitely not plug power. Yeah, how does that happen? So plug holding 28. It's holding pretty good strength. It's acting better. I kind of like it. I like actually the flag right here, 28 and change. There's a lot about this stock I like. The one big thing I like about it is it's pulled back off of $74 all the way back down to 28. So it's first bounce, first trend line bounce. Again, this will probably set up as a first pullback rotation. If it does pull back to 23, 24 maybe, it would be great. But I don't even know if I want to, take a shot on that if it's going to pull back there. I think you need to probably be in down here and kind of ride it. And now looking at the 5-minute chart here, this looks like the perfect opportunity right here. Just kind of pulled back here, 27, 28. Let me see what the options look on this. I might take something right now while I'm doing this. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for the plug and do the right setup here, PLUG. We're going to look for that rotation. Again, like I said, we're going to look for the stochastic rotation. I'm not going to go against the grain here. Even though I do like it. It's consolidating at the highs. I will wait on that also. Now I'm just going back and looking at Boeing one more time to stress how much I think we're going to actually get a nice follow through over the next couple of days and get up here through that 240 to 242 area, 241. I don't think that's going to be a big stretch on this one, this next run up here. VTGN is still popping here. That's good. All right, I'm just trying to catch you up to activities on the day here. And let's see here. So we got into that, the BLI. Sold our SPY yesterday. Sold Mosey on the long. We got a nice 52 cents on that. Got the CVM at 2034. Teladoc, we did that. So I have this new bank stock we got into, OPHC, and I have some other ones here. I want to look on that. So low floaters, we nailed the low floaters a few months ago. We just happened to be on them. Noticed it moving. The penny stocks were moving really good, and I did some good research on those, and we made some good money on it. And there's some that didn't really move out, but this is a type of setup. This was a cheap stock with a low float, and as you can see, it's starting to break out now. This is what you're looking for, these type of candles. You get that big candle. You got to take advantage of it when you get the candle, though. I didn't take it off today. It's back down to 374. When we do get that activity, and it tends to slowly chop up and move up. So I would expect to still have a chance to get out over 4 on this. I'm still holding it. It was meant to look for this pull back and this to kind of move back up. But in reality, I probably should have took it off here at 4 if I could have. I think there's so much going on today. But I'm still holding that. The Jaws JWS. Still like it. It's a slow mover, but it's holding that trend line now, and it looks like it could pop. Again, 14 would be a good level to watch for a breakout on this one. The same thing with some other, the pay safe. I'm not even going to go into that one. Holding that. And it's finally broke through the channel. It's consolidating today. Not much going on there today, but the new ones, like I said, the plug power shows up on the list. And we have, this one looks great. SWK on the gap down and the reversal. So it just got oversold. Gap down. Oversold, now starting to climb back up. I would just expect this thing to climb back up. Now today it's actually started off higher. Now it's pulled back. I want to give it till Monday, but I'm going to have to switch some things out. I don't want to be holding too much. So that is definitely something I like. Doesn't really matter where we want to get into it. I think this flag is just going to be a perfect flag with a divergence here, the gap down, and it's a reversal. A nice flag. So that is on the radar. No position yet on that. And then we did talk to BLI and VI. What's this make? SWK, we did that one. So Pubmatic, I looked to get that one today, but they didn't have options on this one. I'll continue to watch it. It's starting to look interesting down here. No position yet. I did consider it. I probably would have got in if they had options. And I have a new bank stock for us. GBNY. Generations Bank Corp. Regional bank. It's a big wedge pattern. Which way does it go? Now, it's not even really a big wedge. It's like kind of like, what we're doing is it's really tight here, and it's just ready to have a big range from 10 down to 9, chopping around back under 9, back up to 10, and now we're just tightening up here. So these have been working out really good. I think there's a big move in this one coming down the road. No position yet. I definitely have it as one I want to get into. SEER, SEER. Watching this one also, falling wedge. I'd like to get a divergence on it. A fast move down to previous lows off the lower trend line. I'll look into this one a little bit. Again, these are setting up. I'm liking them. They're starting to set up for me. They're starting to get my interest. Snow, we talked about. I do like the snow right now going forward. I think that's a great setup, one of the best setups. And again, kind of on the situation with the plug power, we might want to wait for the rotation. The rotation is going to be the golden ticket right there. That rotation on a stock like this is going to be perfect. Has a lot of history. It has good technical levels. A nice rotation and a pullback. Not even get a big pullback. Maybe 213, 215. Who knows? Even if we get that, I'd rather be in it than out of it at this point. But if we do get that pullback and that rotation, we're going to be all over this. It's going to be a great trade. So these are future trades. This is like money in the bank. Waiting for a divergence is like money in the bank. Waiting for a rotation play is like money in the bank, as long as you have the right stocks to concentrate on. The PRAA. I told you it's going to be a long grind, but I think we're going to hold this trend line and grind higher. It is like it is really, really slow. I'm looking for a big candle like this, a little pop. I think it's coming up. We'll get to 39 on the way to 40. I don't know how far, but to get to 39, I think we're going to get there soon. Market here just dropped off. I didn't notice that. Just dropped off. Coming back down to the previous close. Which brings us back down to basically a flat line on the day. Next one here, another good one. Just wish there was more money to go around and buy these. Mosaic looks great, 35.60. Just continue to climb here. It's a triple since the bottom. Really, really nice. All right, so we're looking at the other thing is last week's watch list. I wanted to really point out we really focused on, and I go back and watch last week's watch list again. You really want to focus on those rotation plays. And I wanted to do a checkup. We've been checking up during I just want to continue to say breakout. First rotation oversold. Look at that PGNY. That continues to look very strong. IAC. Breakout. First pullback. Continues. And this went out from last week. So I gave you these 5 days ago, which is basically right where the circle was. So I circled each one of them and went over them. I'm saying this is where we're going to concentrate on these. These are your setups. IAC, the return, and now we're looking back at them and seeing how they move. So if they have the circle, you're looking at it. That's what we were. That's where we were when we brought these to you. I brought them to you. Some of them are just like I'm just looking. That wasn't one. That was one back here, but I wasn't part of that. I just was looking at it. Let's see what else. CHD, Copart, Procter Gamble was I was right in that trend line. That was the one back here too, but again, that's not part of it today. I didn't circle that. ADSK. ADSK was one that chopped around a couple days, but now is higher. 5 days ago we showed you that one. VFC. Now VFC, I believe, had earnings today. So, this was the pop. We got a pop, but they had earnings today, so that does not count. Any news-related stocks, take technicals out of it. You can't hold anything into earnings unless you're just planning on gambling. You don't know where you're going to go with that, so that doesn't matter. I just wanted to check on it and see what it's happening. I do believe MasterCard has a lower trend line underneath this. I'm waiting for, but it didn't get down there yet. AMT. This was a pretty nice one. It continues to show strength, and believe it or not, this was the first pullback. This is the first pullback. So when we talked about this one, it was right about here 5 days ago. Chopped around. Actually, in that big day that was selling, it really didn't do much, and the next day consolidated. Now it's starting to move up. But again, first rotation after a big breakout like this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Breakout. Took a long time for this time to rotate down. Once you got rotated down and tagged that, that's where you're looking at it. So you get the concept on this. Excellent strategy. It's one of my top strategies next to a regular divergence. The breakout rotation play. It's on the HPS playbook plays. If you go to the forum, if you're new out there to Day Trading Radio, you go to your dashboard. Up on the top, you'll see the playbook play link, and you can go look at it. And there's videos explaining how all these set up and how to trade them. Now here's another one, Affirm, AFRM. This one was getting really oversold. I looked at it. I wasn't sure about it. It's starting to get a little pop. I have to look into it a little bit more, I think. I'll wait until next week on this. AI is popping today. That was another one that I was watching for a while. Nothing really happened from this, and now it's kind of pushing back into this channel. Got to pass on that one too. All right. T-Mobile was again, old. You look back at this, you can see they break out the first rotation, and from that point on, and this has been really good. We've been trading this one too. It gave a fast little pullback the other day, but it's regaining that level. It's gotten 50% back into that candle. It's run into a little problem today. And then of course coin. I still haven't decided to. I still, I feel that Kathy Wood's position in coin is just too big, and that's a danger sign for me. She refuses to, she says that all her portfolios are going to go up threefold. I think she said in the next 5 years, which maybe they will. But I'm just not a fan of the coin right now. Paul makes a good point of that crypto is going to be sold to all the banks and PayPal. You're not going to have to go through Coinbase. They're going to lose share to it. It's just overpriced, and it was overhyped. Definitely overhyped IPO, and it's not doing much. But some people can, I've seen and been there too, where you believe in something so much you refuse to back down, and you keep on adding to it, and it keeps on going lower. And at one point, maybe you're going to get, you're going to get a nice bounce and a nice run, but I'm not in this one yet. There's a nice divergence here. I'm not paying attention to this, but there's a nice divergence right here. I'm going to move this over so I don't lose that. It's a nice 14.3, nice 9.3. And then right at that point, right when you see that candle start to move back up, right when you see this start to turn back up. You know, and that's basically, it's the 3 candles, and that's where your divergence starts off. That's a 1 minute divergence. You can see a nice downward trend line, and we are breaking through this. So that's how I'd measure that out and say, all right, there's your channel. A nice divergence will break out of the channel. A couple divergences. WAB, Wabtec, railroad sector. Never traded it before. Pointed out the gap down, the higher low on the stochastics, and the big move today. I'm sure that's probably going to end up going higher too. Dollar General. This is the first rotation back after a channel breakout. It's starting to look good. It's flatline though. It hasn't really aggressively moved up. But I am getting a reading here of a slight divergence on this. It is up a little today. And then we have another one, TDY, showing up as a divergence. And there's an underlying trend line, Teledyne Technologies. I'm not a fan. I'll pass on that one also. Let's continue on. I mentioned this one this morning, AINC. It's one of our flat line, and expecting us to pop and get up to 15, and it is getting that pop right now. It's actually slow volume, but breaking out. $12 stock and $12.88, looking good. Another cheapie that I have back on my, I want to get back in on, is the Art W here. Now you can see we've just kind of been just putting in this inverted head and shoulders pattern. It's a farm type of play, and it's right in that trend line, and it looks like it's about to go. So I'll probably make a decision next week on this one also, as I figure out what we're going to do with some of the gains that we're going to get on the Boeing VTGN. What we see for earnings next week, as you know, we're out of earnings season, but there is some stragglers here. Lordstown Motors, RIDE, is an interesting one, RIDE. I was going to look at that chart. I know they got the CEO was on Kramer. He was on before his earnings came out. I wonder if he was just trying to pump his stock for a reason. I'm not a big fan of this stock. I wish I was short it back here. I have a feeling it's even going lower. All right, so that's Monday after the close. Tuesday, AutoZone before the market opens. Cracker Barrel, Make My Trip, Vista Sat. That's 27 versus 32. Dicom after the close. We got anything interesting here? Agilent, Toll Brothers, Urban Outfitters, Zscaler, Live Ramp, Intuit, some big ones. Wednesday, Capri Holdings, Abercrombie, Exporting Goods, DKS, Photronics, PLAB, and then after the close on Wednesday, quite a few. American Eagle, DXC, Elf Beauty, NVIDIA, just announced a split. Snowflake, actually coming out next week. That's interesting, Snowflake. All right, so let's see what we're going to do with that. And Workday, Snowflake is looking at a loss of 16 cents. All right, Workday. Okay, and then Thursday morning we got Best Buy, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. So we took a look at the Dollar General chart today. Medtronic's always a good one. Let's take a look at that. And then after the close, Autodesk. Some of these are sending Liongate Films, Ultra Beauty, Viva Systems. Quite a few. You know, there's going to be some good setups next week. Salesforce, Liongate, Gap, Dell, Costco. All right, that's going to be it's going to be a big week. So there goes Boeing here. Boeing here taking off, almost getting back to the highs here. I think we're going to go higher here. I think Boeing's bottom is in. That last pullback was it. going back and looking at some of the snow, just looking at some of the catalysts that we had in snow, it was upgraded to a buy from neutral at Rosenblatt. Price target to 285. That's good. It's traded again at 233, so that's a nice area there. And then we look back here. We actually had an increase in a stake here, Tiger Global, and then we had a nice upgrade here in Goldman, following upgrade to a buy from a neutral earlier, which was here. Let's see if we have a price on that. Target raised to 275 from Goldman, so that's a good sign. Also, that happened on May 14th. Insider buying on May 11th, 10% owner bought 126,000 shares at $192, so they jumped on it under 200, and between $192 and $200 worth, $25 million. Initiated with a hold at Needham, but large growth opportunity currently priced in. They're saying initiate Snow with a hold. Analyst Jack Andrews says Snow delivers a cloud-native data warehouse that solves the performance and stability limitations of premises systems. Key differential and multi-cluster. Snow has elevated its platform to become a robust data platform, provides single coverage layer, and allows users across the business to use securely share data internally. Despite our positive view on Snow fundamentals, what appeared to be a significant runaway of market opportunity for the company's solution, we are initiating coverage with a hold rating solely based on valuation. All right, so sell in here. March 26th. That's March. All right, just wanted to see what the see what this was looking at. 275 UBS. This is interesting. I think we have a nice move on that. We'll continue to hold on to this and maybe even add to it going into earnings. $234 here, not that far from the highs. All right, that looks okay. All right, it's coming up after 3 o'clock. I am going to wrap this up, and I apologize today if it seems to be a rushed watch list. We had a little, change of things this morning. BLI here is pushing back up. But, and I'm going to be getting out of here a little earlier today, so I'm going to get that out of here. But I believe I'll make it up to you next Monday. Tuesday we'll do another additional watch list just to kind of update the setups here. But I think we got a lot of great stuff. I'm very happy about the Boeing breakout. I think Snowflake is going to be a great one. BLI is hanging in there. I think everything we're in is looking pretty good, except the Discovery, which is has been a disaster, which I totally missed my opportunity to get out on this gap up. I mean, I was sitting on it right there, and I was, oh yeah, we're out. It was even higher, I believe, pre-market, 43 maybe. Now it's at 31. I think it breaks down through the 30s into the 20s. Anyway, that's washed up and dead anyway. I know a lot of people looking at the Viacom. I didn't take a look at the Viacom. And I do like the Viacom too. And it's slowly moving back up, slowly. It's not much moving today, but look at this. This is interesting. It's choppy, but slowly moving up. Looks good. All right, so that's it. There's other ones that will probably pop up over the, over the next few days that we trade in the market Monday, Tuesday, and I'll update you on anything there. Bitcoin is going to be interesting to watch it over the weekend. We'll try to keep that up for you. Keep those charts running over the weekend. And I think that's going to be it for now. I'm going to wish everyone a good weekend. Have a great time. Stay healthy. Enjoy yourself. There goes Boeing. Hold on to it. 240, here we come. 245. All right, and that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.